Hi everyone, welcome to Colette's Thermi Kitchen. My name is Colette Retrieger. I'm a Thermomix consultant here on the Gold Coast with customers all over Australia. So no matter where you are in Australia, I'd love to support you on your Thermomix journey. And if you haven't got a TM6 yet, why not give me a call and get one of these mighty machines in your kitchen. At the moment, we've got the limited edition black and we also have the classic white, so you get to choose from both of those. And of course, there's lots of great additional reasons why you want to get a Thermomix this month. We have a free glide board and you also get a voucher for $140 in the mix shop. So great reasons to get a TM6. So tonight what we're doing is we're looking at a quick, rough puff pastry, one of my staples that I always have in the actual freezer. It's wonderful to make in the Thermomix and it's really quite easy and very special. So let's get started into the Thermomix. Now this is a fully guided cookie dough recipe, so you can go on and you can follow it all step by step. I'm just doing it because I do it so often, I'm just doing this by heart. So basically, into the Thermomix bowl, I've got 200 grams of plain flour. I've got 200 grams of butter. Now the success with this pastry is cold. Things have to be cold. And in fact, the butter needs to be frozen. So these are little cubes of butter. Always have these in a bag in my freezer. And I've got 200 grams of cubed frozen butter going in there with that pastry.
Salted or unsalted?
Ideally unsalted. And then I'm adding in half a teaspoon of salt. This way you can control the amount of salt. And you do want to make sure you're using a good quality butter. You know, none of these, like the American stick butters are just not very good at all because they have a lot of water based in them. But you want a good quality butter, which is going to give you a good quality pastry. And 90 grams of really cold water is also going in.
Christine says she likes the fact that you've colour coordinated with the Thermomix.
Oh, all in black. No rose gold though. Alright, so that's all gone in. I just have a feeling maybe I didn't measure the water. Fingers crossed I did. And all we need to do is get the Thermomix to basically cut that butter up and spread it through the flour with the water. So we're going to go for 20 seconds at speed 6. Isn't the black beautiful how it shines? It is right. I know it doesn't quite go in my husband's kitchen, but I'm quite fond of it actually.
Did you make this butter?
This butter, yes, this was my own butter, but you know, the Kerrygold, the Lurpaks, you know, the Aldi butter, great, and of course Western Star, great as well. So that's all good. I've just scraped down the sides, and now I'm just going to tip this onto my thermomat. Twiddle the base so it can all come out quite nice and easily. Now what you need to remember is that what we have is beautiful cold but warm hands. So we want to handle this as little as possible. Now I'm just going to very simply, literally just pop this into kind of a rectangle. That will be absolutely as far as I want to go. And I'm just going to pop over here. Andrew, just pop over here for a second. I want to show this a little bit. So this is just, you know, your drawers with your baking paper.
Oh, that's exciting.
I know. But look, what I love about this drawer is with my foil, I can take out as much or as little and just cut it against. This is a Glad wrap. I'm doing it the wrong way around, which is why. Holding it there, it just cuts so easily. So that's, I don't know, that's a little bit.
Yeah, let's get a little Thermi in the shot.
Little baby Thermi, yeah. So, okay, so that's been great. Now, a great companion for all your pastry work is your bench scraper. Why? Because it means my warm hands are not really touching much of this. Onto some Glad wrap. Okay, and we need now to pop this into the fridge. But I'm going to pop it into the freezer for about 5 minutes. and you can also pop it into the fridge. So that's going to be great. Excuse me, my dear.
Quick interlude. So Colette made this on yesterday. Went round to a friend's house, and this is superb. There's a chocolate cream ganache thingy inside, and then there's toffee nuts on the top, whatever it is, and the what's the pink thing called?
Oh, they're frozen strawberries.
Frozen strawberries. It is. Look, it really is very good. Very good.
All right, so look, while that's chilling, I mean, that's it. And then we've got the rolling out, which I'm going to show you in a second. So, you know, why would you bother to... So I'm filling in time for about 5 minutes here, guys. If you've got questions, shout out the questions and I can answer them.
Yeah, Meryl says, how is work, Andrew?
Yeah, Andrew, how's work?
Oh, well, we're into the final distribution of preferences for the by-election here at Fadden. And we should have a final result tomorrow, though we have declared officially that the Liberal coalition member has won. So he took his seat today in Parliament, and so we're just wrapping up. Really, got about another 2 weeks to go, and then we close down the warehouse and we get ready for the federal next election, the referendum.
The voice, cool. All right, let's get back to cooking. So, you know, the reasons why you would make your own puff pastry, you know, and there's nothing wrong with buying puff pastry in the supermarket. You know, it's great, it's convenient. I love the fact that it's not in big squares. I can actually have it in good sizes to suit myself. But this version has got no stabilizers or chemicals or additives in it. It is just flour, water, butter and salt. And we all know exactly where they come from, so all good stuff. And the thing with puff pastry is that you can just do so much with it. Now, if you're working with sweet, you could add like a tablespoon of caster sugar in with that mix to make it even sweeter. I tend not to do that because I find that what I layer up that puff pastry with usually is sweet enough. So I tend to pull back on the sugar simply for that reason, but you can do that if you want to. So here's one that I had yesterday, and you can see, I'm not sure if you can get in there and see those layers, Andrew, the layers that it actually creates. It's just absolutely beautiful. And what you can actually do is this had a controlled rise. If I didn't control it, this would be much, much higher. So if you want a really crisp, kind of thin shell, what you would do is you would get your puff pastry, you would put it on your tray, and you would then sit another tray on top. And that's why, and your auntie says, well, why have you got 4 of those trays? I like, you know, you get the same trays. I love the ones from the mix shop because they're heavy and they're just perfect for that reason. So with these, I didn't want them quite that flat. I wanted a bit of puffiness about them. So all I did is I took my second tray and offset it. So that is as tall as the ledge on the actual tray, because that's as far as it would actually let it rise. So you can control whether you've got a big mountain of puff pastry and it's flaky and light as, or you can get a really lovely crisp one, which is just beautiful. So lots of variations there. The other thing is when you make your puff pastries, these will be very happy in the fridge for a couple of weeks. So things that I love to make, and do vol au vents. How much do we love vol au vents?
Love them.
Yeah, we love seafood vol au vents, mushrooms, chicken, all sorts.
Bacon, cream.
So, you know, vol au vents, think about those.
Cheese vol au vents.
Ones. You can... toppings for your pies.
Salmon vol au vents.
Yeah, lots of vol au vents, Andrew.
Prawn vol au vents.
And then you're done with the vol au
I
vents.
love those.
So all sorts of things. You can do millefeuille, which is something I love to do lots and lots of. You can cut this in half to have it extra thin. You can layer them up. And you can put savoury fillings in there. Think about goat's cheese, cream cheese, you know, salmon, and it would be just delightful on a hot summer day. So with this one here, just to show you how wonderful and snappy and light this is, I'm just going to break this. Can you see all the little bits coming off? One of my all-time favourites with this puff pastry has got to be sausage rolls. Love a good homemade sausage roll. Nothing beats it in my book. Absolutely love them. So yeah, the other day I had what I call a development day where I experiment in the kitchen, and I made this little beastie here, and I have to say it was a great success. So
it was a lot bigger than that.
Oh no, it was pretty big, and I've actually squashed this down a little bit to fit into a container in the fridge. And what I did is I simply cooked the quick puff pastry just as you saw me do, making it there, and I'll show you the rolling in a second. And then I filled it up with a really absolutely delicious chocolate brandy cream, and it's got some freeze-dried strawberries in amongst that too, and then I topped it up with a beautiful almond praline, and I have to say absolutely delicious. I might have a little slice now. So while you're slicing, always remember a serrated knife and you'll get nice slices. So you can just see there, you've got, probably a bit thin really, but you've got all those lovely layers. Sorry everybody. Okay.
It looks like a lasagna.
Okay, so I'm going to live dangerous. I'm going to go and grab that pastry and show you how to start rolling it.
Oh, here she goes. Another interlude. Do 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 do. This was really special. The people we took it round to thought it was just superb.
So look, I can feel this. It's way too soft still. It needs longer. So ideally what I would do is leave it for about 20 minutes in the fridge, or a good 5 to 10 minutes, and you want it cold, because remembering the enemy of a good puff pastry is the heat. You need things cold. And the reason for that is that the butter softens up and it just becomes impossible to use. So all we need to do is, on our mat, we are going to place our puff pastry down. A bit of flour on top. Now you don't want to go mad with the flour, okay? And you want to get in the habit of moving it constantly. And a bit of flour on our roller. So I'm using the Mix Shop rolling pin here. I love these. I think a lot of you have them. I've got the 4mm attachments on the sides, which help me to actually roll this pastry out really well. See, it's a bit soft, but that we'll live dangerous. We'll try and work quickly. So just remember, with your rolling, just keep it moving, flipping it. So if it's hard, you want to just kind of do this to start it rolling. I'm just going to increase that side. And what you want to do is start from the middle, okay, and then just go out to 12 o'clock and back, out to 12 o'clock and back. Now, it is hot. And then what I'm going to do, I can feel it sticking, so a bit more flour down here, turning it round, and then we've got the other side up to 12 o'clock. And what we want to do is we want to create a rectangle of pastry. Okay, just remembering keeping it all nicely floured, but not too much. Flipping that up, and I'm going to pop a little bit of flour underneath, moving it around so it doesn't stick. Okay, and then I'm just going to continue that. So rolling that up. What you're looking for is 3 times the length to width. Okay, so just going to turn that, put that round. And I think that's fine. Okay. Right, so now what I want to do is I want to get rid of this excess flour. Okay. And you can use your bench scraper to help you kind of shape things up if you want to, which is nice. Get rid of the flour, and then you're going to bring this up to about 1/3. And then you're going to bring this down to the other end like that, okay? And what we're now doing is creating the first layer. And we're going to turn that, making sure it's not going to stick, plenty of flour, moving it around. And then what we're going to do is seal in the ends, seal, and then we're going to start the process. So I've actually turned it so the open end, like a book, opens and closes. So again, starting at 12 o'clock, rolling up, 12 o'clock, rolling all the way up, making sure I can move. A bit more flour on here, and then giving it a flick around.
So Kathy, this is a cookie dough recipe, but Colette makes this so often she can do this blindfolded.
It's a staple and it freezes it so well. So I normally have a couple of blocks in my freezer because you can just make so much. So again, end up to about a third. Doesn't have to be exact, near enough is fine. And this end comes down and meets up there. And remembering our open book, you want the page that's open over here.
So how many times you got to do this?
You do this 3 times. I've lost count of how many I've done, but I'm sure I've got one more.
This is the third one now.
The edges. Okay, so into the middle, up we go, 12 o'clock. Just getting that nice and done. Okay, just checking, moving. I can feel it sticking a bit more flour. So that's fine, giving that a turn. And then off we go again in the other direction. All right. So this, in fact, now is the last roll. I can feel here just a little bit more flour.
So try to answer your question. The little rings on the side elevate the roller.
Yeah, so it comes with I think it's 4 different discs, and it's just fabulous for making all sorts of pastry. So you can see when I actually go to roll this out to cook it, I want this to be 3 mils. At the moment it's about, sorry, I want it to be 4 mils. At the moment it's about 5. When I can roll this no more, when these are on the actual table, that's it. It's all exactly the same width and length, and it's just going to be perfect. Okay, I can feel the heat in here. Now, if you're working with the pastry and you can feel it getting hot, just wrap it up into cling film in that little sandwich that we've done, into the middle, and that's then how I will actually leave this. I will wrap that into some cling film. With this one I'm going to freeze it. If you were like on your second turn and it was getting hot and buttery, back into the freezer for 5 minutes. So you want to make sure it's nice and cold. You like that, Andrew?
Yeah, no, you see the marble effect of the butter in the...
Yeah, can you do a close-up of that? Because that's what's going to create that beautiful butter.
I'm sure you can pick it up, but it's all marbles.
Put that into cling film. It's going to go back into the fridge, and then I'm going to wrap that in foil, and that's going to be turned into something special one day. In fact, I've got some leftover beef bourguignon in the freezer.
Sausage rolls the weekend, please.
Yeah, sausage rolls, and I think also a lovely meat pie with that. The rest of that bourguignon would be just amazing. So this now is ready for me to shape into vol au vents, into rectangles, to fill samosas with. If you want to do a rough puff, put whatever you want into the little pasties. Just amazing pastry. Generally cooking it at 200 degrees. Now, if you're doing a big piece, like a big mille-feuille, you probably want about 20 minutes, and I tend to put a bit of an egg wash on top. If you're doing a smaller pasties, individual things, probably about 12 to 15 minutes is all you need to cook it for at that 200 degrees. And that's it really. So look, it's super easy, an absolute must in my freezer, and you can get really creative. If you Google frozen puff pastry, all sorts of recipes will come up. If you put that into Thermomix, you're going to get, there's so much you can make with it. So why would you not have it in the freezer? No stabilizers, no chemicals, no additives, butter, flour, sugar, water. You're done.
Sugar?
Not sugar. Did I say sugar? I'm getting old.
Yeah, the other sugar.
The other sugar.
The older sugar, salt.
And that's it. All right, everybody. That's me tonight. So have a go on Cookie Doo. Look for the quick puff pastry. Get some in your freezer and make some beautiful sausage rolls or whatever you want to with this pastry. That's it. Bye for now. Say goodbye, Andrew.
Goodbye, Andrew.
I'm going to have some of this now. It's just delicious. Can't help myself. I'm me and sweet things. I'll never diet. Oh, that chocolate cream is absolutely incredible.
And that's that peanut.
Mm.
What was it? What do you call it? It was the toffee and
almond praline.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
Bye, everybody.